This is Roger and Louise Linton, and we're known as the 2L Cattle. And this isn't basically a tree farm, it's a cattle ranch. But the trees are a big part of it.
We're located at the head of Crooked Creek Valley, just north, maybe 10 miles north of Lakeview. Part of the ranch is in the Goose Lake Valley, which technically drains to the Pacific Ocean, and part of the ranch is in the Great Basin, which does not drain, and that ridge is the divider. There's 6,000 contiguous deeded acres. About 1,700 of that is taxed and considered timber ground. Origins of the property: settled one of the early ranches in the area, 1870, I believe, by Charles Rehart. Like most of the country sheep ranches, our goal is to take care of the land and be able to manage it, ourselves. It's a working cattle ranch also, and a hay ranch. So the watershed is extremely important. And that's one thing that I've kind of learned, moving from Central Oregon, from just kind of a pivot farm, that if I want water down there on the hayfield, I got to look up here to the trees that are up there. In this case, a lot of our forestry, is juniper removal. Those 300 acres of juniper off this whole hillside, we lost a bunch of hay ground because it was too wet. You can just see where you've made the cut, and that water is now in the watershed.
Of course, these pines benefit from the from having the juniper removed also, because they need more water, and it benefits them.
And this spring alone, we ended up getting over 700 acres of forest ground, all the juniper removed and hand piled, ready for burning. And the east side had so much, is definitely different than the tree farm concept on the west side. I've certainly learned that this is a different management system. There's no sense in planting trees here, because if you there's plenty of space for them to reproduce,
do their own thing.
Mm-hmm. We did a really nice kind of combo project. We harvested over $50,000 worth of timber from that particular area, and still left.
It was basically a thinning project. We've actually done 2 of those thinning projects now, where they harvested some of the trees, but they've left it looking a little more like this here, where there's more space. And
we've had a lot of help there's a Lake County Initiative, Forest Service, state foresters. Oh yeah, the NRCS. Okay, the Watershed Council. Oh, Fish and Wildlife. Extension would be Daniel Lavelle. The area right here would be a cost share with the state of Oregon Forestry for pine thinning and forest health. We've encouraged the wildlife in all different kinds of ways. By having the whole watershed, under your management, it seems like the wildlife know that. I mean, we have, of course, all the kind of cool regular waterfowl that come every year, willets and the herons and the sandhill cranes and
snipes.
Oh yeah, the snipes. Oh, and the white-faced ibis. Mm-hmm. Well, being a certified forest, I think, has just a little bit of sort of maybe status to it, or something, or someone has noticed that you're at least trying to do a good job. Our management plan is that hopefully we can keep up with it, because there's certainly a lot on it. It's really started to come together in the last few years. I guess at this point in time, I'd like to finish what we've got going, and there's plenty more to go.